AITA for calling my husband a disgrace after he said my miscarriage ruined his birthday? I miscarried yesterday afternoon, about 12 p.m. I've never had a miscarriage before, and this baby was so wished for, so it's all so fresh and I'm sobbing right now, so I apologize in advance if it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. My husband turned 27 yesterday. I 26F was pregnant with mine and my husband's 27M second child. Yesterday, I was 8 weeks pregnant. The day before yesterday we saw a beautiful heartbeat flicking on the screen, and today I'm devastated. I was playing with our 2-year-old when I felt a pressure in my lower abdomen. Not long later, I noticed bleeding and I let my husband know immediately that I had discomfort and bleeding. Before long, I had passed what I believe is the fetus and I messaged him, I think I lost the baby. I wanted to keep him updated and I guess I was seeking some kind of emotional support. I asked if he could come home and he said of course, if it's urgent. I said I think it is because the pain and bleeding is getting worse and I'm starting to feel lightheaded and our 2-year-old is unattended in his playroom right now. We have no friends or family near that I could call who would get to us quicker than he could. I had to clean myself up, crawl downstairs to take paracetamol, make my son his lunch and then put him down for a nap. At this point my husband still isn't home. He was working approx 30 minutes away and took closer to 60 minutes to get back. Hours later when I asked, it was because he'd stopped at Tesco to pick up some beers. I ended up very poorly, losing lots of blood, lightheaded, vomiting, etc., and he had to take me to A&E. By the time I was discharged, it was almost 8 p.m. Last week, I had said I'd make him his favorite dinner for his birthday, which he reminded me when we were almost home. I said I wasn't feeling up to it and that whatever takeaway he wants is on me. He said for fuck's sake under his breath and then muttered something along the lines of this bullshit has ruined my birthday. He didn't stop to get any takeaway. He just drove straight home. He put our son to bed and I went to bed and I'm not sure what he did after. I didn't see him this morning as he had already left for work. He's not messaged me all day and he got home a few hours ago. It's now 8:40 p.m. and he's been giving me silent treatment. I tried to speak to him about an hour or so ago and he ignored me and I called him a disgrace. He slammed the bedroom door and locked me out of the bedroom. His mum has since messaged me and said I need to be patient as he's also had a loss. She didn't ask how I was or anything. He's obviously speaking to his mum, but why isn't he opening up and speaking to me? She said I was harsh. I'm feeling utterly emotionally neglected right now. My body has been through emotional and physical hell. I understand that my miscarriage came at a fucking inconvenient time for him as it was his birthday and all. I'm not sure if it's the hormones making me feel crazy, but is it nuts to contemplate divorce? AITA for calling him a disgrace? AITA for not allowing my husband to use my mom's ring. A little bit of background. My mom had an affair for years with a good family friend. After my parents divorced over it, she stayed with him and my sister and I lived with them because it made more sense to be with our mom. I was 15 at the time and my sister was 19. They got engaged but it didn't end up working out. It was a weird time in my life and I have very negative feelings towards him. Fast forward almost 25 years. I'm married with kids. Have a gorgeous wedding band/engagement ring that I love. I break my ring finger this past fall. In the ER they had to cut my rings in pieces. Very sad, but the rings are salvageable. I had to get surgery on the finger and the surgeon told me to wait a year to fix my rings because it would take that long for it to go back to its normal size. After the surgery, my mom calls me and tells me that she still has the engagement ring from that man and since my ring is in pieces, I was welcome to have it. This was a bit of a surprise. It's easily a $35,000 ring. Gorgeous 2+ carat diamond platinum with an incredible setting and wedding band. It's admittedly fucking beautiful. When I told my husband about it, he was very excited and encouraged me to jump on the opportunity. He loves jewelry, but I explained to him how I felt about it and we argued a bit about it because he couldn't understand why I wouldn't take it, etc., etc. In the end, we ended up taking it after our visit over Thanksgiving because my mom was just keeping it in her bathroom drawer, and we have a large safe, so I figured it was best to keep it locked up. Then without my knowledge, my husband took it to a jeweler to get it appraised and has approached me with some ideas for redesigning my ring using my mom's. He is trying to make it sound like he did me a favor, and that this is beneficial for everyone. I have been very clear. Feel free to redesign my ring and use any other jewelry I have, but do not touch my mom's ring. It belongs to me, my sister, and my mom. and we will decide what to do with it. Furthermore, I don't want that fucking man's diamond on my finger. My stomach turns at the thought of him. My husband thinks I'm being unreasonable and is angry about the fact that I can't see that he's trying to do a good thing, and I don't appreciate it. AITA? AITA for reading a book about BDSM on a plane? The book is a psychology-focused look at BDSM. Lady I was sitting next to gave me an ugly look and told me I shouldn't be reading that stuff in public. I asked her what she meant, and she clarified that she meant sexual material. I told her it was a psychology book, not erotica, and that even if it was, she should mind her business. The cover is mostly black, but there's a man in a suit and a lady's leg with a high heel on the cover. However, the cover overall is designed to be so dark that I have a hard time even seeing those images on the cover when I'm holding it up in front of my face. It's very subtle. The cover has the subtitle Understanding BDSM Sexuality and Communities. I feel as though I'm allowed to read whatever material I want on a plane, especially so because the intention of this book isn't to turn anyone on. Like I said, it's a psychological study. It's not like I was breathing heavy and jacking off next to her. But maybe I'm wrong? AITA?
AITA for hesitating to pay for my wife's $8,000 cosmetic surgery for her birthday? Today my wife asked if she could get cosmetic surgery to alleviate scarring on both her cheeks as a birthday gift. She told me it would cost about $8,000 out of pocket. About 10 years ago, my wife's mother took her to a skincare expert who they later found out wasn't even licensed. As a result of a botched procedure, my wife now has significant scarring on both of her cheeks similar to very deep, severe acne scars. This scarring isn't something someone will cause someone to their head on the street, but if you look for a moment you'd definitely notice it. More importantly, this scarring has left my wife with trauma and she's gotten mean comments in the past over it. It has definitely caused her to feel a deep insecurity over how she looks. With something deep-rooted like this, I told my wife I think it's healthier to get therapy and I love the way she looks now. I don't even notice it TBH. In that vein, I am not sure if getting an expensive procedure that is not guaranteed to make her look better for $8,000 is the panacea she's hoping it will be, versus investing in her emotional health by talking about the trauma she's experienced and working through her insecurities. I say this because I think my wife is beautiful and I wouldn't change a thing about her, but that doesn't seem to help. I've asked her point blank that if her mom was the one who took her to the original skincare expert over 10 years ago and her mom has indicated she'll do what it takes to make it right, why am I the one who is now being asked to pay for cosmetic surgery after all this time? When I asked her this, she simply got upset with me and said, "Fine, you don't have to pay for it." But that doesn't answer the question. Here's more context for those that think I'm being a cheap over $8,000. I have gotten my wife LASIK, advanced hearing aids. She has never needed hearing aids in her life but wanted even sharper hearing at certain pitches. So this was an UPGR grade that wasn't a medical necessity. Adding this edit here because the number of comments on this, laser skin treatment, $2,000, etc. I am willing to spend to take care of her, but within reason and when it has a demonstrated benefit. This amount for cosmetic surgery doesn't sit well with me for reasons I shared above. We also have a mortgage, monthly expenses like everyone else, 2 young children, and I am the sole breadwinner. There's that important bit of context too. I've thought of a few options. Her mother can cover half or a majority, and I can cover the remainder. I can cover half or majority, and her mom can cover the remainder. I pay for the procedure in full. I don't pay for it and advise her to seek therapy and, if she insists on getting the procedure, that her mother should cover the cost because she's the one who took her to the fake doctor in the first place and has stated she'll do what it takes to make it right. So AITA for giving pause? If so, which option above would make me NTA? Is there an option I'm not considering? AITA for losing my mind because my wife keeps lying about passing gas? Edits, clarification plus updates at the end. I can't believe I'm even writing this right now. The answer is so obvious to me but I feel like I'm being manipulated, but I don't see why. I, 36M, have been with my wife, C, 35F, for a decade. Everything is great. She's my best friend. We have fun together, and she's my favorite person to spend time with. But as of late, something weird has been up. Look, 10 years in, you get pretty comfortable with each other. You've seen each other at your worst and really been through it. Which means, yes, we've passed gas from both ends and used the bathroom in front of each other. No big deal. For the past year, my wife has been farting more than usual. Again, I don't care. It's not a huge problem. But these are some pretty vile stinkers. And this might seem funny, but we're in a small one-bedroom space that's poorly ventilated. So you can imagine that there's a limit to what one can take before one politely says, "Babe, I love you, but you gotta go to the bathroom." Here's the weird part. Without fail, she will deny it is her every single time. She'll look at me weirdly and question what I mean. At first, I thought she was being cheeky, so I let it go. But when it started happening every single day, I got worried. I asked her if there was something to be worried about. We're nearing 40, you never know. And she just looked at me weirdly and said with the utmost emphasis and assertion that she did not know what I meant. The next time it happened, I asked her if she smelt it and she said no, and I looked at her wide-eyed because there was no way she couldn't smell it. My eyes were burning from the smell and she's telling me she can't even smell it? I eventually confronted her and she said it's probably a gas leak or sulfur leak or something, which, okay, fair. But we had the place inspected and nothing out of the ordinary turned up. I tried to confront her again and her answer really made me reel. She said, and I quote, "Could be a demon. If it smells like rotten eggs." I'm sorry? Is it really easier to try to convince me our house is haunted than just admit she's the one doing it? We live alone. I can hear it, but she has no reaction and firmly denies it every time. We recently had a small spat over it where I asked her why she was choosing this hill to die on and lie for, and she looked at me like I'd given her the finger. She's gone silent and I'm now fully losing my mind trying to figure out if I'm the asshole for calling her out or if I'm just going insane. So, AITA?